Gypsy Rose Blanchard, 32, was convicted of second-degree murder for her role in her mother's death, and she has been incarcerated for the past 8.5 years. In 2015, Nicholas Godejohn fatally stabbed Claudine D.D. Blanchard, and it is said that Gypsy overheard the entire incident while in the adjacent room. Gypsy had been abused by her mother for years, and the two had planned to murder D.D. together. Gypsy Rose Blanchard's cellmates are coming out and criticizing the ex-convict's actions months after her parole release. Has the narrative of Gypsy Rose Blanchard changed? Gypsy Rose Blanchard's cellmates FaceTimed one other in a shocking new TikTok video to discuss what it was like to live in prison before the ex-convict became famous. A fellow inmate states that she thinks Gypsy had more involvement than what she leads on just because she told a few people in prison without saying she did it. She says she did it. After giving a nod of assent, the other cellmate rolled her eyes and said, "Her story has changed all the time." Next, according to the first woman, she literally bragged about giving the knife to Nick while in prison. Gypsy Rose, is she lying? Cellmates of Gypsy Rose Blanchard also accused the former prisoner of lying about her ex-boyfriend, Nicholas Godejohn. They claimed that while she was incarcerated, she had stated she didn't care about his welfare. However, now that she was free and the public was following her everywhere, she had altered her tale. What's crazy to me is she acts like she does not care about his well-being and stuff. But now she's saying, because everyone was on her about it, like how could you not care about him? According to what one of her cellmates claimed on TikTok. Legitimately, though, that girl does not care about him. One of Gypsy Rose Blanchard's cellmates discussed the allegations that the 32-year-old experimented on women while incarcerated in a different TikTok video. The ex-convict stated, according to the blast, that she had gotten into relationships with other prisoners in order to explore her sexuality. Learning to be comfortable with one's sexuality is a big part of womanhood, and I wasn't comfortable with mine for years, Gypsy said in the second episode of her Lifetime documentary, Gypsy Rose, Life After Lockup. For a long time, I questioned my own sexuality because when I was a teenager or a preteen, I felt like I was attracted to girls, and I got to experiment with that in prison. I think I've kissed more girls than I have guys, she said. Her cellmate, nevertheless, claimed that this had never occurred. She said, yeah, Gypsy was not a lesbian, and if she did have a girlfriend, it was only because they used her for money, which she claims she got like $500 every 2 weeks. Okay. You have a weekly spending cap of $80. Allegedly, Gypsy Rose disturbed the pedos while in prison. However, the tea kept spilling because Gypsy Rose Blanchard's cellmate said that she hung out with the pedos while incarcerated. The TikToker asserted, yes, she did hang out with the pedophiles and the child molesters. Those were her people. Those were the gang of people she hung out with. Gypsy didn't know their charges. Everybody knew who the child molesters were, she stated. Social media answers to fresh allegations. Many social media users responded to the news after hearing her cellmate's statements, with others saying they weren't surprised at all. Gypsy Rose and the pedos could definitely become friends, in my opinion. Indeed, a user wrote, "It was so obvious, lol," stated one person. Someone else's cellmate has been waiting for the tea to spill. One person commented, I was so definitely waiting for a cellmate to come forward. This is the reason I adore TikTok now. Another added, this app has all the real tea. While a third added, literally been waiting for someone to speak out because ain't no way she is innocent. Gypsy Rose Blanchard has not responded to requests for comment from the blast.